Really great chatting with my next guest, the number 3 ranked featherweight, Josh Emmett, back here on the program, live from his car, about to go do a workout, but he's taking some time here today. Josh, how are you?
I'm great. It's great to be back.
Yes, it's great to talk to you. We've got so much to get into. Before we talk about, obviously, the title fight on Saturday, UFC 276, I understand you have spoken to the UFC. Obviously, Uriah, your good buddy there, part of your management team, spoke to, did an interview, and it seemed like there were some issues with the UFC. What is the latest with that? And it seemed like you did talk to the UFC.
Yeah, no, it was there was just miscommunication. The UFC actually had cage side tickets for me. I did an appearance with one of my sponsors, and they had tickets for me as well, and they kind of wanted me to sit in the section with them, and I didn't know that. So yeah, like I said, just a miscommunication. Reed Harris reached out to me, actually called me yesterday. I know Dana was aware of it. I know. A lot of the UFC brass actually texted me or called me. So yeah, everything's good. I was never going to say anything. I was just frustrated in the moment, especially not knowing all of this. And then I was just like discussing it with Uriah, just telling him kind of like my frustrations. And then of course I saw the next day my phone was blowing up and I was like, what's going on? And then I saw that interview he did and I was just like, man, what are you doing? But I know at the end of the day, he just has my back. He's looking out for me. But that, I don't know. It is what it is. I can't control what people say, but yeah, I had a great time in International Fight Week. I went out there. The fans are amazing as always, and so I definitely had a great time. It was just a little upset with just things because I didn't really know what was going on, and then they clarified everything, and yeah, it's all good.
Okay, well, that sounds good. And too bad I missed you. I was there last week too, but I know there was, everyone's running around doing stuff media-wise. But one of these days, I'm sure we'll cross paths. But let's talk about the performance itself from Volkanovski. He was the betting favorite going in the fight. I don't think people expected him to be the fight being that one-sided. What did you make of his performance over Max Holloway in their trilogy?
I thought he looked great, and I've been saying it all along. I'm like, those two guys are, they're elite, like they're at the top of the division. But I was saying I thought Volkanovski was going to win, just because, they both continue to get better and better. And I've said this time and time before, but I feel like Volkanovski does not get the respect he deserves. But now it seems like, he is after that amazing performance, and they're talking about him being the pound for pound best in the UFC. He's obviously the best at the moment in the featherweight division. And man, that's why I want to fight him, because he's the best.
Leading up to the fight, one thing that was a bit different was Max Holloway kind of talking some trash. You don't really ever hear him do that. And, he's very it looked like he was trying to get a rise out of Volkanovski. Were you surprised by that? Just, because we haven't really seen Max do that before.
I didn't see a whole lot of it, but just little clips here and there. But who knows, whatever, he's just got to, fire himself up. And, man, yeah, I'm not really sure. I guess I wasn't too surprised. Like I feel like they were just kind of having fun with each other, and like some kind of like friendly banter back and forth.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. And I know you're not the matchmaker. You're a featherweight fighter. But what do you think is next for Holloway? Some people feel like now, because he's lost, to Volkanovski 3 times, and obviously the title could change hands at a certain point. But maybe it's time for him to move to 155. What do you think should be next for Holloway?
Man, I don't know. It's like him and his camp and teammates and coaches, they're the only ones that really know that. Like, I can't tell the guy what to do. Look at what he's done in the sport. He's one of the all-time greats. So I feel like it's just styles make fights. And, I feel like Volkanovski just had his number. Other than that, he's beat everyone in the division. So, whatever he wants to do, if he wants to stay at 45s and, fight some other guys, or he wants to move up, I think he would do great regardless what he does. He is a big guy. He's tall. He's an Islander. I'm not sure, but I've heard that he can get way up there in weight. So I'm like, I know he would do well wherever he goes.
Yeah. No, that's for sure. Okay, so before the fight, I was at the media day. I asked Volkanovski, what about a potential fight against you? Because obviously, they're looking at the implications of the fight. And he says he's open to it, but he also kind of made a comment about maybe Yair Rodriguez being a bigger fight. Did you happen to catch that? And if so, what's your reaction to that?
No, I didn't see that. But man, I feel like I can make an argument why I am the number one contender. You know what I mean? I'm on a 5-fight win streak. I beat guys in the top 10. I beat guys in the top 5. and I understand, Yair's, we're both tied for like third right now. We're both ranked third. He's a great fighter as well, but I also feel like, if he wins against Ortega or whoever wins, then they'll be on a 1-fight win streak. They've already fought the elite guys. You know, I feel like I'm the next fight. Like it's the only fight to make. Like I can argue my case, and so I'm sticking to that until I get the call saying, hey, you're fighting Volkanovski wherever the hell it is. I don't care when, I don't care where. But yeah, I'm next.
What about the style matchup? I think what would be really interesting between the fight between you two is the fact that, he hasn't really fought a wrestler like you, and he hasn't fought a guy with the power that you have, really, if you think about it. I mean, you've been knocking guys out. I know you didn't get one in your last fight, but you're also fighting a guy, that's pretty much Terminator. Max Holloway sort of proved that in his fight against Kattar as well. But what do you think about the style matchup between you and Volkanovski?
Yeah, that's why I'm saying it's like we're so similar. Like we're so damn similar. It would be like the most like fighting myself. And it is like the only one like he fought someone close to me would be my teammate and friend Chad Mendez, and Chad was doing really well, and then he just unfortunately got a little tired just because with that pressure that Volkanovski puts on people. But man, yeah, it's definitely the style would make for, I feel like, one of the most exciting fights. He's not going to back down. I'm not going to back down. He's talking about people standing their ground. Like I'll stand my ground, and people. He continues to prove people different, or I mean, prove them wrong, and I do the same thing. I feel like we're both kind of in that boat, but yeah. So I'm looking forward to it.
And, I'll kind of say that, because I was part of that media group post-fight, no one really brought your name up. And, I'll be the first one to admit, I think that was a mistake. I think people needed to mention your name a little bit more. A lot of the talk was on Volk going up to 155. What do you think of that possibility of him, trying to become this double champion by moving up a weight class?
Yeah, I think all the champions want to do that. It's like a legacy thing for him. And he's fought it 170, like that's why he's he's come down from a lot. He's lost a lot of weight, and he's doing really well at 45s, but I just, if he wants to do that, great. I know he talked about cleaning out the division, and he hasn't cleaned out the division yet. There's literally one fight before he can say that, and that's with me. But I think we would put on a hell of a fight for the fans. We're so similar in style, so I think he has the blueprint to beat a lot of these guys that are taller, skinnier. And I've been saying this for years, you know what I mean? And I've been like wanting to fight the champion, fight Volkanovski, and like I've been getting closer and closer and closer, and now I'm the number one contender. So I'm like, hey, let's do it. Wherever it is, it'd be an honor to fight Volkanovski for being one of the best fighters, not in just the featherweight division, but in the entire UFC. And yeah, we'd put on a show.
He says if he was 155 champion, if he goes up, wins a title, that he'd be active in both weight classes. But no one's really done that, right? Conor, the second he went up to 55, he basically abandoned the featherweight division. Do you think that's possible for a champion to do that, or do you think you got to vacate one to do the other?
No, I think he definitely could. Like if he were to go up and win, he just fought not too long ago, and then he turned around and fought again. So he's an active champion. I feel like he would be willing to do that, and he would do something like that if he could pull it off. But I just don't. I feel like with his hand potentially being broken, and then them talking about Oliveira and Islam, like I don't know when that fight would be. So I'm saying me and him can run that fight, and then we'll see what's up.
It's kind of an obvious question, but I got to throw it out there anyways. I imagine you don't want to fight anyone else but the champ at this point because of where you were ranked. Again, you just had a main event. You beat a guy in Calvin Kattar who's very tough to beat. I imagine it's title or bust sort of is what you're looking at.
100%. I feel like I'm the number one contender. That was for a title eliminator against Calvin Kattar and I. And yeah, like I said, I'll wait till the end of the year. I'll wait till the beginning of next year. I'll fight him anywhere in the world. It really, just let me know, and I'll be there. Yeah, but it's just the champion. Like I'm next. So that you're right.
Okay. And what about an interim title? Like, let's say he did move up. Again, we're looking at hypotheticals here. If he moved up and there was an interim title, would that still be okay with you, or do you want to fight for the undisputed title?
Yeah, I want to fight for the undisputed title, but if that were the case, and there's a belt on the line, of course, I'll do it. Even though they have the interim titles, I would do it just so I would, solidify myself as being next in line. But I still want to be a champion. You're not a champion, so you beat the champion. It's like a participation ribbon in my eyes.
Yeah. Okay. So we got a lot in there. Okay. Let's switch gears a little bit. We talked all about your division. Also on that card, we had Sean O'Malley and that whole Pedro Munhoz thing. Did you happen to catch the fight where it ended in an eye poke, the no contest?
I did. Yeah. I saw
So
that.
what are your thoughts on that? Because, O'Malley came out saying he dominated the round and then, Pedro wanted out. And obviously there's a bit of a character being played in there too. But what did you think of that whole situation and what transpired?
No, I don't think any fighter's like doing something like that. Like, it definitely was not intentional. It was an accident by O'Malley, but I've scratched my cornea twice, and that is so damn painful. When like you can barely open your eye and it's just watering, and then the other eye is shutting and watering. So, Pedro Munhoz, he's fought some of the best guys in the world. And I don't think it was, he didn't want to weigh out. I think he just really couldn't see, and they stopped the fight. And then the next day he did like scratch his cornea, I'm pretty sure. But who knows? You know what I mean? It was a good fight. Like, Munhoz was landing a lot of leg kicks, but I felt like, O'Malley was, landing the bigger strikes, and he was kind of controlling the center of the octagon and just kind of starting to open up, when that did happen. So it was a little unfortunate too, because that was a big test for O'Malley. And I think he was getting the job done, and he was doing really well. So it's unfortunate that didn't get a play out. But I'm not sure if they're going to run it back or what's next for both of them.
How did you have the fight scored though going into the second round? Did you give the first round to O'Malley or Munhoz watching it?
Yeah, just watching it with all the leg kicks. I saw Munhoz just landing all those leg kicks, but I don't think he threw any like punches. So I wasn't sure how to score that, just based off of the leg kicks. But then he was pressuring him back and putting him on his heels and landing bigger strikes and throwing all those spinning kicks. And then I thought O'Malley was winning the second round before it got stopped. So who knows how it plays out? But I thought it was just a close fight, obviously.
Yeah. No, I'd agree with that. Speaking of close fights, your win over Calvin Kattar, I know there's been a lot of talk about the scorecards on that. Were you surprised how many people said that Kattar won? And also, I'll add sort of a second part to that. Also people, kind of not, taking into consideration, the activity in the cage that you had. It seemed like you were coming forward a lot. Were you surprised to see the backlash after that win?
Yeah, it was. I thought I did enough to get I watched the fight. I still think I won 4-1. Even if we give him the last few rounds, it's 3-2. I was surprised by the split decision. That's for sure. He was really just landing jabs, and he landed one spinning elbow. He's a great fighter. He's a durable, tough guy. Comes from great camps. Like, nothing but respect to him. But just seeing all the people, I'm like, at the end of the day, it's his fans, his whoever they are, you know what I mean? Regardless, people are going to get a lot of trolls too. Like, I see Volkanovski, he had a phenomenal performance against Max Holloway, and then he's still getting all these trolls. I'm like, how's that? It's just the social media, and it gives these people like just a way to like hide behind stuff. Most of them are private. Most of them are like have no followers, no posts. They just like troll people. I don't know if they're bots, whatever the hell it is. So, I don't really look into that too much, but for the most part, those are the people, saying that, and it is what it is.
How have you dealt with that on social media since the fight? Because I'm sure you have got some, maybe some passionate Kattar fans or cartel fans.
Yeah, no, it's always that way. Everyone says I'm lucky. Every win I have is luck. So I must be one of the luckiest guys in the world, because I continue to get lucky every fight. So, it used to like kind of bother me a lot, but it's like I try not to look at it too much. And then sometimes I'll just respond and mess with some people, and but then they come out everywhere. So I really need to just stop that. But for the most part, if it was the roles were reversed, I'm sure I would have a lot of people saying the same thing on, his page and this and that. So it's just whoever's backing you, they're always going to have your back and, root for you and be biased and stuff like that. But also, if the roles were reversed, I guarantee Kattar's next in line.
Maycee Barber, what did you think of her performance over Jessica? I know she trains with you guys. Really a solid win for him and her in the weight class.
Yeah, she did great. I feel like she was going to go in there and get the job done too. She's always in the gym working her ass off, and she's getting better and better. And yeah, I thought it was a big name for her to go in there and you know get a big win over. And I think Jessica, was she ranked number 10 at the time?
Yeah, she was a ranked opponent, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, at that point. So
I'm
yeah.
sure Maycee has to be ranked in the top 10. I would assume she would take her
Yeah.
spot. So that's awesome for her. Just moves her into the top 10, and she's still so young, and she's getting better and better. And I think she's already, back training already, and she just fought. So that just shows how, how determined she is. And yeah, I'm excited for her future. And yeah.
Okay, that's great. And just last thing from 276, did you see Nate Diaz slap that reporter? Did you see him slap the mic and his hat off?
No, I didn't see that, but I saw some headlines, and I didn't click on it because I didn't know if it was like clickbait. I didn't know if he actually.
Oh no, it
did.
really happened. Yeah, I don't even think it was staged. It was like a real thing. So I guess the guy had said something about Nate's teammate, and Nate, I guess Nate didn't like it, and so he slapped him.
That's how. Who knows? I saw him at the T-Mobile event or arena, and yeah, Nate's a good guy. He's always been good to me, and I know he's had some issues with some of the teammates, but it's like, I treat people how they treat me. And, he said, "What's up?" And we talked for a little, but yeah, I didn't know if it was going to be, I thought it was like some maybe stage thing, and they were just putting that headline on, and then it was going to be some guy like slap me. So I didn't even click on it, but
no worries. I was going to say,
I'll have to check it out since you said it was real.
Yeah, you should check it out. And I don't think anyone's going to be slapping you anytime soon. Devison Figueredo has signed with your management group. How cool is that? I know Uriah played a big part in this. How cool is it? And is there any opportunity you think for him to come train with you guys?
Yeah. He trained with us for his last handful of camps, except when he was going to fight Cody. And I think when he was fighting Benavidez, because they know Benavidez used to train out here. So just out of respect, but yeah, he's come several times, and he's such a respectful, guy and champion. And he's really talented, and he's a big flyweight. I'm like, he could be a featherweight. But yeah, that's awesome that he signed with them. I think they'll bring a lot more opportunities for him possibly. And yeah, I'm excited for him and being part of the team.
Yeah, that's great. What are the next few weeks looking like for you? I know you're back to training, but is it just stay on standby? I guess wait to see what's next as far as your next fight and all that. Is that kind of what you're doing?
Yeah, I'm just, I'm going to get back to work, and I feel great. I just had to let that cut heal, and I got the stitches out, I don't know, a week ago or so. So yeah, I'm just going to get back to training and doing my normal routine. We're in the process of building my mom a house, so that's been going kind of crazy. We've been, yeah, that's they're working hard, and that's flying together. So yeah, I'll just wait. I'm hoping to get some news in the coming weeks, or man, sooner than later would be better. I just want to know what's next. I feel like I know what is next, but I just want to hear it from Dana.
Yeah, and I imagine no traveling right now, because you probably have to wait to see what's going on with your next fight, right? Or do you take a trip maybe earlier and then just hope it all works out, because Volk hurt his hand, right?
Yeah, no, who knows? Like we have no plans right now with traveling and stuff like that. We're gonna do like a little trip here and there, but that was like my plan going into it. I'm like, I'm gonna go in there, I'm gonna get this win against Kattar. That's gonna start everything, and I'm gonna come back, get back in the gym, and then just wait till I get that contract to fight for the title.
And last question, Ortega Rodriguez next Saturday, 5-round main event. Who are you liking in that one? How's that playing out? I'm sure you're rooting for Ortega, because I don't think he'd get the title shot after just losing to Volk.
No, who knows? It's the same type of thing. I feel like, if Ortega gets him to the ground, like it's hard for people to, get back to the feet and not get submitted. If Yair keeps it standing, he's so fast, he's so elusive. But Ortega's a big featherweight. He's powerful, and yeah, I'm not sure who's going to win that fight. You know what I mean? And like, I'm not really rooting. I understand what you're saying, but it's like, I still feel like if Yair wins, it's like, I still feel like I'm next, but they could make that case since they haven't fought,
Yeah, I think the odds would be better, and adding in the fact that Volk also said that he, sort of felt like that might be a bigger fight than fighting you. That's where I'm coming from there. So, I mean, it's his words, by the way, not mine. I don't necessarily agree with that, right? So,
yeah, so we'll see, but it's like, man, I don't know. It just depends on when the fight starts and how it plays out. If Ortega was to, hurt Yair and he were to shoot, like who knows? But
Mhm.
if Yair can keep it standing and use his footwork and keep his back off the cage, then I would possibly lean towards him more. But if Ortega gets inside and gets him to the ground or hurts him, like then I'm leaning towards him. So it's really hard to pick that fight. But I'm excited for it, and I'll be watching it. Yeah, we'll have to see once the once the bell rings. I feel like then we'll know within the
Yeah.
first few rounds how.
Josh, thanks for doing this, man. I don't want to make you late for your workout. Hope you're not dehydrated. I know the weather's pretty there and pretty hot in California. If there's anyone you want to thank, any sponsors, any social media, as usual, I'll give you the last word.
Yeah, and just like I always say, go to joshemmett.com. You can read all articles, videos, everything about me. It's a time capsule on my website, and all my sponsors, my social media. It's all there, joshemmett.com. I got apparel as well people can purchase.